back. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in time and space. This is the intuitive update. Um, I took a couple weeks break from posting. I really needed it as I got myself kind of situated with some of my new commitments and as I was taking care of health stuff and figuring out my next steps after I leave this place. I'm still in Seattle. Was not intending to be here for this long, but had some health stuff I was dealing with, had some van stuff I was dealing with, and I had some classes and stuff too that long story short, basically my friends offered for me to stay for a little bit longer in order to take care of my things, and I'm really glad that I was able to do that. I'm so fucking grateful to Seattle and the vibes, like my friends slash chosen family here, and just this space, this neighborhood, the kind of growth and peace that I've been able to experience here have been like really essential to kind of some of the transformations and revolutions that we are experiencing right now, and how I've been able to navigate them. So I'm super grateful. I'm grateful to y'all for still being around, sticking around with me while I took my little break. Like I said, I'm glad to be making videos again. I hope you enjoy, and I have some like ideas for things I would like to do in the future with this site with the blog, but TBD. You will find out about them soon enough. So yeah, let's get started with the update in the cards for today. So as I was shuffling, the card that I pulled as I was shuffling, one of the cards that came out was the Nine of Wands. This is a card that just kind of fell out as I was shuffling. You know, that's a tricky card to see. I don't really enjoy seeing this person. Sometimes it's nice to see this card because it's like, okay, well, take a break, stop whatever you're doing, relax. And then the official pull, whatever the card that I intentionally pulled, is the King of Cups. So today's update, we've got the Nine of Wands and the King of Cups together. And actually these two cards together make a lot of sense in terms of like a unified message. So the overall message that I'm getting from these cards is know your limits. If you're not familiar with tarot, in the tarot, the suit of wands represents the element of fire, and fire is our creative energy, our passion, our life force, the stuff that gives us a will to live. It is where we connect to our passions, our enthusiasm, like the stuff of the solar plexus. You can't even see my solar plexus, but I'm pointing at my solar plexus. And so the nines in the tarot are also typically cards that are about pause, rest, restoration, taking a moment to compose yourself or to be in appreciation of the things that you have. And so this card, the Nine of Wands, is really about like being in a place of high intense energy usage, and basically needing to be in a state of like pause before you like accomplish a goal. Like you're almost there, but the overall message is to be mindful of any kinds of like burnout or challenges, and so being really willing to know when to stop, when to rest, when to compose yourself before you head to further kind of challenges or ruin, because it looks like this person has been through some shit and they're trying to figure it out in the process. For this other card, the King of Cups, in the court in the tarot, the court cards are all double elemented. So the court cards, they take on the element of their suit in addition to the element of their court. And so the kings in the tarot are fire. And so we already talked about fire: passion, creative life force, energy, sexual energy, creation, etc. And the cups are also about creativity, but it's more of like intuition, feeling, emotions, love, that sort of stuff. And so basically, the King of Cups is a card that's about keeping your cool under pressure. The kings like have this, are able to harness the energy of fire and channel it and direct it in intentional ways. And in this situation, in this suit, they are able to channel the energy. They're able to channel their energy to deal with intense emotional challenges. As you can see in the back of this card, in the foreground, in the background rather. I'm waiting for this camera to maybe focus on what I'm trying to show you. Well, in this blurry state, you can kind of see that there we go. There's waves, a ship at sea on these waves. There's a lot of like kinetic energy happening within the water here. So there's like a lot of motion, perhaps some tumultuousness. There's a lot of intense emotional energy that is at play here in this card. And there we go. Look at it. It looks great. So yeah, the King of Cups is able to navigate these rocky seas with a sense of composure, and a sense of clarity as well. They don't get overwhelmed by this information. They remember their training, basically. One of my tarot teachers, I learned, this is the example that Lindsay Mack used, like when I took a retreat with her back in 2016. She used the example of that pilot, Sully Sullenberger, I think is his name, landing that plane on the Hudson River. There's a plane that he was flying that was having like a malfunction. I don't remember what the malfunction is. Sorry, I don't remember details for certain things. But he was able to safely land the plane on the Hudson River, and was able to save everyone on board. And so apparently in the recording of him, the black box recording of him as he's landing, he's in this like really high pressure situation, and instead of sounding like he's freaking out or anything, he sounds just like remarkably calm, remarkably composed, very present, very in control of the situation, or it sounds like he's in control of the situation. Because basically he's in this moment where he remembers, like, this is what I have used my energy, my time, my skills for. Like, this is like I am present enough. I am suited to the task of this challenge. And instead of succumbing to fear or succumbing to a sense of helplessness, he rose up to the challenge of being able to safely care for people and maintain his composure in the process. So basically, again, like with these two cards together, I'm getting this message of knowing your limits, being able to own those limits, being able to own the fact that you have limits. Like, do what you can with the information that you have and the skill set that you have. Don't make excuses for yourself. Honor where you are. Keep it cool. Keep it empathetic. Keep it honest. Keep it real. And this is really applicable to like anything that might be happening in your life, because know that this work that we're in, the work of spirituality, the work of self-reflection and mindfulness, and also like the work of revolution, as so many uprisings are happening around the country. All this stuff it's not just a marathon. People like to say, oh, it's a marathon, not a sprint. And yeah, that's one way to put it. But also this is like a practice. This is a lifelong practice. This is a way of life. We are training for moments big and small. This is a way of life, just the same way that, like, having to eat every day is a way of life. Having to brush your teeth is a way of life, or like having to like learn new skills in general is like part of like a way is a way of life. This is the very fabric of our being. It's not just something that is extra. It's not something that we are just doing for the sake of doing it. It is an integral part of our existence and our life forces, right? So it's true that we're in a particularly big time right now. And this is, just want to acknowledge that. And this is where spiritual work comes into play. This is where we are meant to apply what we have learned in our healing journeys. Like, this is not, as I often say, this is not the time to abandon ourselves. This is not the time to think that we, fall back on limiting on behaviors that we know invite us to feel helpless, or to that take us away from our sense of power. And so as you kind of like approach potentially like this sort of energy of burnout, because again, I want to acknowledge how much there is happening in the world right now, on a personal and a collective level, and that part's real. So as you approach like potential burnouts, as you approach like these challenges that you might be experiencing, don't use them as an excuse to fall apart. Don't use them as an excuse to be emotionally manipulative or try to fight with other people. Use this as an opportunity to gather your resources and energy and be the adult in the room, even when you don't feel like it. Maybe even especially when you don't feel like it. So yeah, the message for this week is keeping your composure, being present with your training, and doing the work you need to do even in dire fucking situations. So yeah, that is, so let me say one more thing. So don't discount your emotions. Just know that they're there. You just rise to the occasion because that's what you have practiced and that's what you have trained yourself to do. So yeah, this is the medicine of these times. And honestly, like, this is going to be the continued message and energy that we are going to be invited to maintain for a while through the end of the year, and then into next year for sure, as well. So strap in. we got this. So yeah, thank you so much for being here. Thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. Thank you for your presence. I love you. Good to see you. Y'all take care. Best blessings onto you. Bye.